Let me see. Guests and partners. I'm going to get started here. Waiting for a few guests to come in. Getting started on this Wednesday live interactive broadcast here shortly. Rose tonight, we will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. To town, from London to Siam. Okay, I don't want that, but I do want Mr. Earl. All right, we're going to be starting here pretty soon. Acres. Oh. There we go. Okay. This would be a good. Like that. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. The official guests and partners. Welcome to Interactive Power Talk and a Solution with the world's #1 problem gambling interventionist, Santos Jr. Saving the hemorrhaging gambler from self. This is 45 minutes of mind optimization. So get in, close the door, connect your seatbelt, and let's go for a ride. See you on the inside. There we go. The program has officially guests and partners been started. All right, friends, guests and friends from around the world, I want to welcome you to Power Talk. This is the new program we started. It used to be Solutions and Answers, but today it is called Interactive Power Talk and a Solution broadcast with the world's #1 problem gambling interventionist, Santos Jr. This is 45 minutes of mind optimization. What is the goal here? The goal here is to stop the bleed. Save the hemorrhaging gambler from himself. And by the way, the gambler, the problem gambler is not what we typically think of an individual going into a casino playing slot machines or playing cards or playing the roulette table. That gambling mindset is tied to something else. The gambling part is just an escape. That's all it is. So we're going to be here again. We're experimenting on Wednesdays. I am Santos Jr. here. We're experimenting on Wednesdays. We are live on Sundays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to do our best to be here on Wednesdays for at least 30, 40 minutes, unless I find myself by myself, because in the last couple of broadcasts, I found myself with myself, which is interesting because I talk to myself anyways. but but I'd rather do that maybe in front of a mirror, not really on a live screen. So I welcome questions. I welcome guests. We've got, what do we got? I want to share just a little bit. I'm going to do something really cool on this broadcast. We're going to bring up Mr. Earl Nightingale, my friend, one of my digital coaches. We're going to bring him up and we're going to listen to the story Acres of Diamonds. And he's going to share it, not me. I was going to read a proverb. I don't know. I might read a proverb maybe. Maybe not. It depends. I see there's two people that are staring at me. They're just thinking either they know who I am or you're new and you're just looking and you're wondering, is this guy worth my time? Should I listen to this guy? Should I pay attention to what he's got going on? All right, we are heroes tonight. We would fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yes. All right. Another thing that we've got going on is Facebook. We're growing our Facebook group. Did I even put that on here? Santos. I didn't put it on there, but I will put that. What do we got going on? Free strategy session. Okay. Last night, in last night's live on Facebook, I read this little short story, and I'm probably going to read it here too. Not probably, I am. I'm going to read it. It's a really good, interesting, it's a touching story, by the way. Let's see if I can pull it up here. And justice for all. Let me make sure that I got. So I'm experimenting to see if we can get some attendees, some friends, some guests to come on Wednesday. If not, we'll stick to the Sunday broadcast. And what I'm going to be doing also is we're going to be putting this information out. We're going to make the book come to life. How I'm going to do that is I'm going to set up a week. 1 week, depends on how many people come in and decide that they want to do this. We're going to put the book out, this book. We're going to put the link. You can purchase the book. You can either get the book, you can get the ebook. And then what I'm going to do is for 1 week, I'm going to create a 45 minute live broadcast. It's going to be 45 minutes of live broadcast. I'm going to be reading out of the book. We're going to go through the book together, and you'll be able to ask questions. I'm going to make this book come alive for a whole week. It might take a little bit more than a week. I think not. I think we can do it in about a week. But the people that are the joinees and the partners that come in and want to do this little challenge, this is if you want to feel energized, if you want to feel motivated, not maybe motivated, but maybe you want to feel more inspired from within. So that's what we're going to do with the book. We're going to work on that. We're going to set that up, and we're going to make something good happen. I believe that is something very valuable. It will help you on the other side. And I believe it's going to be a great thing coming up. So we're working on that. That's a challenge that's coming up. All right. Well, since I don't have any questions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read, okay, out of my book. We're going to take a few minutes and we're going to read and then see what happens. 30 to 45 minutes here. Get in, close the door, put your seatbelt on, make sure you're connected. All right. And justice for all. Let gratitude be the pillow upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayer, and let faith be the bridge you build to overcome evil and welcome good. Maya Angelou. The sound of helicopters reverberated against the mountains, filling the canyon with a deafening noise. It was almost 1 in the morning, but normally quiet streets were bustling. I was standing outside my house, tears streaming down my face. I had been crying for hours, but it felt like a minute. I had no concept of time. Earlier that night, I had returned home from work to find my mother lifeless. She had been killed during a heated argument with a family member, and her killer had fled, leaving me to find the grisly scene. In those excruciating hours, friends and family arrived and filled our suburban street. I cannot recall everyone who showed up. Their faces melt together in my mind like a collage of love. All I know is that I eventually made my way to a neighbor's home. The owners were longtime friends of my mother's, and they had graciously opened their doors to the circus outside. I sat on their couch, being comforted and awkwardly hugged by people coming in and out. They said all the right things, but their words sounded empty, and my heart ached too much to believe them. Eventually, a man I had never seen before entered the room and sat down with the crowd that had gathered. "Hi, Amy. My name is Detective Michael Valento," he began. "I'm here to bring you and your mother justice." This is a short read, it'll go by very quickly. Justice. It sounded like such a familiar concept, one I had been brought up to believe was around every corner in America. Our country was built on justice and fairness, but nothing about that night seemed just or fair to me, despite fully knowing its meaning. In that moment, I couldn't fathom ever feeling that justice had been served. My mother could not be brought back to life. Thank you," I replied. I didn't know what else to say. A few months later, Detective Valento was a regular part of my life. Our phone calls became an almost weekly occurrence. Each time we spoke, Mike vowed that he would do everything in his power to ensure my mother's killer would be sent to prison as expeditiously and permanently as possible. I believed him. The one with cream. Oh, fine. Thank you. My assistant bringing coffee to me. Second. My secretary, that is. All right. Well, anyways, I believed him at the time, but as the months wore on and the number of hearings grew, I lost hope. Despite my emotional struggle, I grew to know and care for Mike. He was a kind, gentle man with a heart of gold. His intentions were of the purest, and he symbolized the hope I once had. He was a wonderful advocate. He continued to call me often, checking in to see if I was okay, asking how my wedding plans were going, updating me on everything that was happening. Also, alas, the months turned into years and very little happened. Justice and the American way were not prevailing. My hope morphed into anger. I was angry my mother's killer had been accorded his punishment. I was angry my mother was gone. I was angry that a system I had been reared to respect was so clearly failing. My mother's murderer was playing the system and he was getting away with it, or so I thought. One particularly hard day, nearly 4 years after my mother's death, I came close to losing it. I had been in court all day and I was mentally and as well as physically drained. Mike had been in court with my fiance and me, sitting by our sides the entire time. I turned to him and pleaded, "When will this end? Why is he being protected? Why hasn't he been convicted? Life needs to go on." Mike thought carefully for a moment. He looked at me kindly and said, I know it doesn't seem like it, but this is all for you and for your mother. You have to understand that our legal system, although at times seemingly imperfect, is protecting you. If we didn't cover all of our bases right now, he could appeal and possibly be free one day. So for now, we must be patient. I know it's hard, but in America, good things come to those who wait. Again, my heart was so heavy, I couldn't quite grasp his words. But this time I accepted the situation. I waited patiently for another year. 5 years and 2 days after my mother's murder, a judgment was delivered. My brother was given a sentence of 15 years to life. I was as relieved as I could be. Justice had finally been served, and I could begin to repair my own life, which had been shattered that horrific night. I remember as we fled the courtroom for one final time. Mike had leaned in for an embrace. After our hug, he pulled back and said, "See, I told you all would be right in the end." At that moment, my heart filled with warmth that it had not felt for a while. Warmth ignited by someone who had been a complete stranger for a few years ago. This man, despite knowing nothing of the content of my character, dedicated a large portion of his life to fight so I could regain control of mine. Mike's actions showed me the camaraderie and the strength America instills in its citizens. His upstanding dedication to his country and position of service helped change my life for the better. Detective Mike Valento of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department exemplifies everything that is right in our country and with our police force. And although there is no reason left to carry on a relationship with him, my adoration, respect, and gratitude for him will never diminish. For it's men and women like Mike who gave me strength, hope, and life back. I can never be thankful enough. A.B. Chesler. Wow. What a story. Can you imagine? I won't even try to get into it. Life, the things that we go through, the experiences that you and I go through in order to get ahead, in order to achieve, in order to breathe, in order to breathe. Well, I'm very thankful. I know that for some reason, it just wasn't meant to have an audience tonight, obviously. But I do notice that there's been one or two people watching the broadcast, and it's probably obvious that I'm speaking, or we're speaking to one another here, right? You're speaking to me because I'm keeping an eye on what's going on here. There's something going on the other side. I don't know who you are. I truly hope that maybe I truly hope that something I've shared on this live broadcast would give you perspiration, not so much motivation. I don't think we really need motivation or inspiration. We really don't. We need perspiration. We need to learn to take action, and it's hard. You know, I was thinking about this earlier. I was speaking to I was talking to my personal coach, a coach that I hired recently to help me with some marketing efforts because I've been failing. And I mentioned to him, it's hard for people to take action. I've been gambling free. I've been working on my mindset. I've been working on my attitude, on my behavior for the last couple of years. So yes, it's a little bit easier for me today. I would admit that. One thing that I've learned, and I've been sharing this in my book, my recent book that we put together, 15-Minute Mornings. You can find that at Amazon. I would highly encourage, if you don't have a copy of this book, I would highly encourage that you should get a copy. It's just a couple of dollars. It's going to help you with your mornings. One of the things that I wanted just to share a few minutes ago is the ability to just stop and think. The ability to stop and think in a dark room. It is hard. it is hard sometimes to take action. It is very hard. And for some people, sadly, they won't ever take action. For some reason, they just won't take action. There's going to be those group of people that will not take action. For those of us that want to take action, that want to excel, that want to experience something better, here's something. We're going to be ending the broadcast, but we're not going to be here too long because I'm going to also go live on TikTok. Let me see. Am I going live? Yes, I'm going live on TikTok for a little bit. When you close your eyes, when you meditate, when you walk into a dark room and you just hang out with yourself in a dark room, see, this is the magic of believing. It's the magic of life hacking. And this, what I'm about to share with you also is tied to life. It's tied to MMPC, which is what I refer to as mind, mouth, power, congruency. If you work on anything in your life, work on your thoughts and work on your speech. Work on those two key things. You will do very well for yourself to do that. And well, what'll happen is the more that you concentrate on those two gifts that you have, they will automatically overflow into the other areas of life: health, wealth, spirituality, your relationships. The key is to work those areas. Now, how do you begin? One of the most easiest ways, one of the most simplest ways that I find today to do this, to change your behavior, to change your character, to change your direction, is simply to get alone with yourself. Just go to a dark room. And you can do this any time of the day. I would prefer that you would do it early in the morning or late at night, because those are the times where your mind is more pliable. Your mind is more open to suggestion at those times. But if you go to a dark room and you close your eyes and you just think about you think about Jim, or you think about Lisa, or you think about Diane, or you think about Nancy, or whoever you are, and you just close your eyes and you just think about think about your situation, and you just take a few minutes with yourself. This is one of the most wonderful life hacks that I've really begun to appreciate so very, very highly, so very much. I find myself doing this. I'm doing it right now. Well, I'm not doing it right now in front of you, but I'm showing you that you can close your eyes and you go into a deeper. What you're doing is you're going into a trance. You're putting yourself into a healthy trance, because that's where you want to be. You want to be putting yourself into a healthy trance. You see, my friend, the casino, the software, the machines, your daughter, your children, road rage, your job, your business, the bills that didn't get paid, or your gambling, or your bad gambling habit, whatever it might be. These are the things that are basically ruling. And when you go into that place and you just focus and you just think about what you're doing, and you breathe while you're there. Sometimes you can't even, some of you that are coming to my broadcast, some of you are so wound up you can't even do what I'm sharing with you right now. You can't. There's some of you that can't do this because you haven't given yourself permission. That's why. You see, you haven't given yourself permission. I'm letting you know that you can give yourself permission. Go into that dark place and think about your life. What's important to you? What's important to you? Is stopping gambling? Maybe you're not in a casino. Maybe you're gambling with something else in your life. Maybe your gamble is your anger. Maybe you've got a really serious case of anger and it's like an addiction. and you need to get rid of the habit. That could be it. Maybe that anger has gotten you into fights, right? Maybe it's gotten you into an argument at work, or maybe it got you kicked out of the home. Maybe it got that anger got you a divorce, and yet you're still look at that thing. Picture it in your mind. Picture that thing in your mind. You don't even you don't even have to look at that anger as yours. It's not yours. It's an anger thing. It's a substance. It's a thing. It's an experience, and you move it away from you. You know, uh, turn it into a black snowball or something in your mind. You know, and then throw it into space. Just take it and roll it with your superpowers, and just throw it out into space and forget about it. Don't dwell on it anymore. Just let it go. You see, these are the things that you can do with yourself. You can do this with yourself in your dark closet. Something that I do talk about in the 15-minute mornings book. Anyhow, I'm having a super fantastic, terrific, over the top evening. I see we got Mark Cameroon. I'm doing super fantastic. Since we got a little bit of time, I will take your question on if you're still here. I see somebody is. There you go. I was just sharing with you how you can get rid of it. It's not difficult at all. You got to want it. You got to want it. Just lost my car today. You mean you lost your car like in a parking lot? Or did the repo, like the bank, they came and took the car away because the payment didn't get made or something like that? By the way, free strategy session right there. Yeah. Well, you're struggling. You're bleeding. You're bleeding, my friend. You're bleeding. You're at least at the right place for right now. This is a good place to be if you're bleeding. If you're a gambler, but if you're a gambler that wants to stop, because if you're a gambler that doesn't want to stop, this is not the place to be. For the problem gambler that doesn't want to stop, this would be a waste of their time. Well, it wouldn't be a waste of their time, but they're not going to. They're just not going to be. The gambler that is not willing to face his demons, the gambler that is not willing to face his problem is gonna stay there. Yeah, you will see. You will stay poisoned. You will stay poisoned, and what will happen is you're. What's happened is, Mark, is you know what you've been hypnotized, man. You're hypnotized. Until you break that hypnotic trance over your life, you're going to keep doing exactly uh, what that hypnotic trance is supposed to do. Have you gotten a copy of the book? I'm even doing free copy, not the hard book. Actually, this is the old book. I'm even doing free ebooks these days. Free ebook to help people. And this book here has a plan in the middle of it. It has a plan. It has a plan in the middle of it. The problem is that people buy the book and they don't use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually bring it to life. We are going to bring this book to life is what we're going to do. We're going to be working on that. Yeah. Yeah. Big time believe in the lie. Yeah. Let me ask you, what has it gotten you? What's been the rewards? What has been the rewards of believing the lie, my friend? What has the can you tell me 3 rewards? Can you put on there 3 rewards that you've gotten from believing the lie? Put 3 rewards on there that you've gotten. Share it. Share it with me. 3 rewards that you've gotten from believing the lie. Right? We got to embrace it. We have to embrace it. Right? What is the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario for you, Mark, is that you'll continue gambling and you'll not only lose your car, but next time you'll lose maybe your house, like I did. You'll get kicked out of your house. And then maybe, who knows, you might end up losing your job, right? Imagine if you get kicked. I was thinking about this earlier. Um, what if, what if, what if, right? What if your money, if it started talking to you, what would it say to you? What would your money say to you if it started talking to you? Right? How crazy is that? Imagine that. Imagine what would your money say to you? Would your money slap you upside the head? Would your money say, "Hey, you're doing a good job with me. You're doing a really good job with me." Would it say that? Or would your money really slap you upside the head and say, "You know what? Wake up. Bam. Bam, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? What are you doing?" Would it wake you up? What's your money saying to you? What's it saying? What's it saying? Yeah. We have to really think about what's going on in life. The guy that lives down by the river in the van, you remember that? Down by the river in a van. The guy that lives there and the woman that lives down by the river in a van, they didn't start out living in a van down by the river. They didn't start out there. They had jobs, they had families, they had brothers and sisters, they had friends. They had it. They had it going on. But they made a decision somewhere. They didn't listen. They didn't listen to this. They didn't hear. They didn't listen. What's it saying? You know? What's my money saying to me? Money, hey, you're choking the life out of me. Let me go. Hey. What's it doing? They little by little, a decision upon decision, they ended up down there in the river, in a van down by the river. Mark Cameroon, my friend, your signs are indicating that you're heading in the wrong direction. These are signs, these are warning signs to you. Pay attention. Pay attention, amigo, because if you don't pay attention, right, it might not be a big deal right now. You might still have plenty of cash in the bank. You might have plenty of money in the bank. Your foundation is leaking. The cracks are starting to show up. What are you going to do about your situation? I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're listening. I'm glad that you're listening. There's a story I heard the other day about Gigi MacGyver. You guys don't know who he is. This was when I was down and out in my problems, and I had diarrhea. What else did I have? I had probably had dementia. I had the whole thing, and I would go online and I would watch these videos to get help. Man, my gambling had gotten so dark and so creepy. Anyways, I would come home and watch these videos. Well, this guy was talking about, the guy's name is Hello Randy. That's the YouTube channel, Hello Randy. He was talking about this guy named Gigi MacGyver. And he said Gigi MacGyver, he needs to fix himself. He needs help. So he said there's a story about this guy who was walking past the house and he saw this mule that was working real hard in the yard, was helping this farmer. The mule was hard at work and moving around and stuff like that. And so the guy goes, "Hey, I want to buy your mule." The guy's happy, he sells the mule. He didn't really want to sell the mule, but he sells the mule. The guy gets the mule back at his place. He's put it to work. He's got him all strapped up, and he's like, "Hey, mule, go, mule, go." But he noticed the mule didn't want to work, was lazy, was like something was wrong. He goes, "Wait a minute. I'm going to go back and talk to that farmer." He goes back there and, "Hey, your mule and this and that." "Okay, let me go over there." He goes over to the guy's house and he goes, "Hey, the mule's out in the field." And he goes, "Hey, you got an axe head? He goes, like an axe head, like a hammer." So he goes, "Yeah." He gives him the axe head and he goes over there and he swings at the mule. He's going to hit the mule in the head. And the guy goes, "Hey, I don't want you to kill the mule." The guy goes, "No." He goes, "No, I'm just doing," what a way. He goes, "I'm just doing this to get the attention of the mule." What a way. I don't know. Maybe I went overboard on that story a little bit, but what a way to get some mule's attention, huh? To slap him right in the back of the head with an axe handle or something. Well, it just so happens that our lives are just like that. Sometimes it takes an axe handle for us to get upside the head to get our attention. I would hate to see that happen. It's happened to me. I got the axe head in 2014. I'm glad that I got the axe head now. I'm glad that it happened to me. We didn't lose everything. We lost a lot. We didn't lose everything. We didn't lose our lives, but we lost a lot. And that was my axe handle back then. Now, I'm going to say this. You don't need an axe handle to your head for you to wake up. You just need to take a look at the signs, right? What is your money saying to you? What is your money saying to you? Mark he said he lost his car. I thought he lost his car in a parking lot because I've lost my car in a park. You ever lost your car in a parking lot? You go out there with the little beeper, you can't find your car, right? It's happened to me. No, he's talking about losing his car in some other way. I think it was a payment that wasn't made. I'm not putting him on the spot. We're just sharing here, and I guess maybe I am putting you on the spot. My friend, you need to get, your attention. Your attention needs to be before it gets worse. All right, we've got a few people that are watching here that missed. If you those of you that missed my introduction, I'm gonna share my introduction again with you. Let me see. Can I do Guests it? and There we
Yes.
go.
Go.
Welcome to Interactive Power Talk and a Solution with the world's #1 problem gambling interventionist, Santos Jr., saving the hemorrhaging gambler from self. This is 45 minutes of mind optimization. So get in, close the door, connect your seatbelt, and let's go for a ride. See you on the inside. All right, there we go. That's my formal introduction to the new program. This is Interactive Power Talk. It's no longer Solutions and Answers. This is Interactive Power Talk and a solution broadcast with the world's #1 problem gambling interventionist, Santos Jr. So we've been having some conversation here. I want to thank all of you. There's been quite a few of you here on the broadcast. We've got a lot of great things happening, folks. We've got a Facebook group that we've started. I'm going to let me put that up there. We're doing live programming right here. You can see I'm inviting those of you that are struggling. If you're struggling with life, if you're struggling with energy, if you need more perspiration, not motivation, not inspiration, but you need more perspiration. You need more ways to take action. Join me there on Facebook. We've got videos coming every week. No excuse. We've got emails coming out every week. There's no excuses there. We've got a free strategy session that I'm offering. If we're a good fit for one another, who knows? We never know. We got to go through there's a little bit of a process that I go through now in order to do. So I'm excited about that. But I'm offering free strategy session. Let me tell you something. You sit down with me for 45 minutes today, you're going to walk away with something very valuable. You're going to walk away with something very, very valuable if you sit down with me for one of my free strategy sessions. I'm committed. I'm committed to helping folks. I'm committed to stopping the bleeding. I'm committed to the hemorrhaging gambler. We got to realign. We got to refocus. Mind, mouth, power is your ticket. It's that simple, my friends. It really is. It boils down to two things. I can complicate the whole thing and we can go to seminar and program. In fact, I was reflecting on how much money I've invested in myself over the last 5-10 years in webinars, seminars, thousands of dollars. And yet, it boils down to two things. You master. And I'm going to show you how to do this. Listen, if you hang around, I will show you how, like an Indian, right? How I will show you how. If you hang, now you got to do your work. You might have to buy a book. Okay? There it is. That's I know that's hard. I know that's really hard for some of you, scrounge up $15 to buy a book or $14. That's hard. That's hard. I'll tell you what's hard is putting that $100 bill in the casino, in the slut machine, and letting that machine, that love affair, take you for a ride. My friend is taking you for a ride, Chico. Yeah, you're getting in with the gambling. You're going for a ride, Chico. That's exactly what's happening. People are getting advantage taken of. Anyhow, we are coming close to the end of the program here. What do we got going on? I'm going to be going live here in a little bit. TikTok. We've got live programming on Sundays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We've got live programming on Wednesdays now for at least 35 minutes. As long as people show up, I'm going to be coming live. We've got live programming on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Live programming on Facebook Tuesdays and Thursdays. We've got a private Facebook group to help people. You know somebody that's drowning in the middle of the ocean of gambling? Send them over to Facebook. Send them over to YouTube. We've got a lot of free stuff that we're doing. On top of that, I'm willing to do a free strategy session. Well, you got to be committed though. I'm not just doing that for free. You know, hey man, we can kick back and chit chat for a little bit and monkey around. Nah, none of that. If you call me up and you want a free session, free strategy session, I'm going to help you. What is it that you want me to help you with? Come on, let's get into this. There's no time. What do you want help with? If you don't have anybody else that you can call that is dynamic, that's a brainstormer, somebody that can get to the nucleus of the issue within probably seconds. If you don't have anybody else, listen, my friend, soldiersofselfmastery.com is your ticket. And who knows, that free mastery might be your complete ticket. I'm also giving you a free ebook. If you send me an email right there, you can actually sign up. Did I put it? Send me, you know what? You want to change your life? You want to change? You want to transform your life? Is that what you want to do that? Send me an email. I'm going to send you the book. It has a plan in it. The little red book. It's got a plan. If you follow the plan, it'll help you. It's either that or your money. Your money's going to say to you, because you're not using it wisely. You're choking me. You're choking me. Let me go. Turn me loose and not into the machines. Your money's going to haunt you, my friends. Your money's talking to you. Your money's going to say something to you at night. When you're sleeping, don't put your wallet next to your pillow because it's gonna frighten you. Might be a nightmare for you tonight. All right, Laura Pender, welcome to Interactive Power Talk. Good to have you here. Let me see what's going on here. Okay. Laura says, I lost my soul, but I have it back. I don't need. Yep. He says, I need more money. You know what? What if I sent you a check? Mark, what if I sent you a check for $5,000, right? What would you do? What would you do if I sent you a check for $5,000? You know, it's amazing what we would do with it, right? In front of others. Yeah, man, I'll pay my bills. I'll make sure I do this, the other thing. Yeah, I'll be in the get that check. Nobody's watching me. Got extra money. Man, Santos sent me $5,000, man. Oh, he's a nice guy, man. I didn't think he sent me $5,000, but he's a nice guy, man. Yeah, I might even just win some money and I'll send it back to him. Go to the casino and lose it all. Come on now. Of course, I wouldn't do that. Yeah. But I tell you what, I can give you more than $5,000, Mark. If you listen to what I'm sharing with you, it's worth more than $5,000. Your ideas, what you put on a piece of paper, okay? What you put on a piece of paper could be more valuable to you than money. What you put on a piece of paper, what you do, journal, right? What you do. This is how I've gotten myself free, right here. Struggles, my problems, and I still have problems today, but guess what? I'm still using because it works. That's why. Because it works. All right, my friends. I'm coming down to the wire here. Let me see. Oh, we were going to listen to a little bit of the Earl Nightingale. Maybe we'll do that on Sunday. Get into the Earl Nightingale here. Let me see if I can even get rid of this thing here. On Sunday's broadcast, let me see here. We'll get a chance to listen to a little bit of Mr. Earl Nightingale. It's going to be a good story. Give you a little taste of it here before we end the broadcast.
In the year 1843, a man was born who, during his lifetime, was to have a profound effect on millions of people. His name was Russell Herman Conwell. He became a lawyer, then a newspaper editor, and finally a clergyman. One day, a group of boys came to Dr. Conwell at his church and asked him if he would be willing to instruct them in college courses. They wanted a college education, but lacked the money to pay for it. He told them that he'd do all he could, and as the boys left, a thought, an idea began to form in Dr. Conwell's mind. He asked himself, why couldn't there be a fine college for poor but deserving young men? Well, here was a great idea, and he went to work on it at once. Almost single-handedly, Dr. Conwell raised $7 million with which he founded one of the world's leading universities. And he raised the money by...
Okay. So we are going to be coming to the close of the broadcast here. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Again, we haven't been doing the Wednesdays. We have not been doing the Wednesdays. This is the second broadcast, so we will be doing Wednesdays from now on. Join me, support the mission, root for the underdog. I'm going to do my best to help those of you that are willing to come here, take notes, apply, and listen to what your heart is telling you. Listen to what your spirit is telling you. We'll end here. We will, Laura. So thank you for those of you. Amen. Let me see. It was Laura, Mark. There was a few others that came. Amen. F4. And of course myself. So with that said, with me, it takes courage, and it takes courage to be you. Now, if you're looking for someone, if you're looking for an eagle's eye view into your experience, whatever it is that you got going on, even though I specialize in problem gambling stopping, the problem gambler can be a businessman. The problem gambler can be a housewife. The problem gambler could be a teenage being influenced, being hypnotized by his cell phone. It wasn't too long ago for me that I was homeless for about 5 months after 32 plus years, thousands of hours being wasted, and over $800,000 plus wasted into the casinos. I struggled. I vowed I would win. I crushed it. I still do to this day. So my philosophy in helping problem gamblers, stopping the bleed, stop the hemorrhaging, overflows into many areas of life. But in particular right here, we're meeting together. This is a divine appointment. If you feel that you need to take the next step, I'm going to encourage you to take the next step. We'll go through the onboarding. We'll make sure that we're a good fit for one another, correct? And we'll take the necessary steps, the guidelines, the principles for us to go forward so that you can achieve your goal faster, permanently, and that you can learn how to do that for yourself on your own. And you'll always use others. We'll always network. All right? I'm your breakthrough coach, Santos Rolon Jr., the world's #1 problem gambling interventionist. Take action, my friend. soldiersofselfmastery.com. Take action. All right, my good friends, until our next broadcast, I will see you on Sunday. I love all of you guys also. I will see you guys on Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bring your mind, be kind, bring a friend, bring a pen. not a hand. To the top, I salute. It takes courage to be you. It takes courage to follow me. Thank you.